Toby the train engine is a really useful engine. He likes to puff Henrietta. And then he was at the docks and he saw Duck. Duck was shunting freight cars. Duck saw Toby. "Hi, Toby," said Duck. "How are you?" "Not much," said Toby. "How are you?" "I'm good," said Duck. But Duck was thinking in his head he was about mention to Toby about the missing engine. "Toby," said Duck, "have you heard the missing engine?" "No," said Toby. "Who is it?" "He is the Duke and Duchess's owner, and he has been missing for years," said Duck. "We don't know where he's at." "Where he's at?" said Toby. "Scrap," said Duck. Toby was shocked to hear that. He didn't know the engine was in the scrap yard, and Toby puffed away. When Toby was at the station master told Toby's driver, "You need to get an engine out of the scrapyard. He's been missing for years. He might be in the scrapyard." It was going to be a long hour to go to the scrapyard to save the engine. When Toby's driver walked towards Toby's driver said, "You don't mind that we can go to the scrapyard tonight and find a missing engine," said Toby's driver. "Of course," said Toby, and he puffed away. When Toby got done pulling the Henrietta, he met up with James. "James," said Toby, "would you like to come with me?" "Yes," said James. "Where we're heading to?" "We're heading to the scrapyard." "Scrapyard?" said James. "Who's in the scrapyard?" cried James. "It's the missing engine that we must save." "Oh no," cried James. "This can't be happening." "But I need your help," said Toby. "I need your help to pull him and make sure he has coal." "Yes," said James. "I will help you." So did James. He followed Toby. Toby and James went through the Naffer station and went through the Duke and Duchess station. It was near evening. Then suddenly they met up with Thomas. Thomas was pulling Andy and Clara. Toby and James stopped. Thomas saw Toby and James. "Hey, Toby and James, what's going on? What are you guys up to?" We're saving the engine in the scrapyard. He's been missing for years." "Missing?" said Thomas. "It must be Spencer." "It is?" said Toby and James. "Yes, Sir Top Hat told me." Toby and James were shocked. They were surprised to hear that name. "I haven't heard that name for a while," said Toby. "We're almost there." And then they puffed away. Then suddenly they made it to Vickerstown Diesel Works. It was foggy and they couldn't see anything. Toby and James were confused. They had no idea where Spencer. Where is Spencer? He's supposed to be in the yard. And then suddenly they heard a whistle. Toby and James were shocked. They had never heard that whistle for a while. "It must be Spencer," said Toby and James. "Hello? Hello," said Spencer. "Are you Sir Top Hat's railroad?" said Spencer. "It is," Toby and James shouted. Toby and James, they puffed backward to see Spencer. They were shocked to see Spencer. "Spencer, are you right?" "Yes," said Spencer. "I'm alright." Toby was shocked to see Spencer. "How you wind up in the scrapyard?" "Because Diesel 10 decided to scrap me." "But why?" said Toby. "Because Diesel 10 blamed everything after Thomas saves the day on the sorter. When I helped Diesel 10 took over the sorter, and then he got mad at me. He decided to scrap me." We'll get you out of the yard," said Toby. "Thanks," said Spencer. But also, said Toby, do you have any coal? No, but I have my driver and fireman with me. Alright, we're here to pull you out, said Toby. And then these two puffed to couple up with Spencer. Toby and James were going to couple up with Spencer. Then suddenly, "Hey," said Bowler, "what are you two doing here, you traitors?" "Yikes," cried James. "It's Bowler. He caught us." Spencer was worried. "Please leave, Toby and James. I'll be fine." "No," said Toby, "we're not leaving you." Bowler was shocked. He'd never seen these two engines. "Then, I need you to come out and see this, what these two traitors are doing." And then he did. Diesel 10 saw them. "Hey, hold it, don't you think about leaving with that engine doing here." Spencer encouraged Toby and James to leave. "Please leave, I'll be fine." But Toby didn't listen. He coupled up with James, and then they both puffed backwards and bumped Diesel 10 and raced. Toby and James raced off to the station. Diesel 10 was cross. "No! Bowler! We'll stop them!" And then Bowler and Diesel 10 charged right at James and Toby. James and Toby were puffing fast. Then suddenly Thomas saw Toby and James, and Thomas blocked Diesel 10 and Bowler away. Diesel 10 was crossed. Toby and James stopped. Sir Topham Hatt came out. He was shocked to see the new engine. "Where's that new engine came from?" said Sir Topham Hatt. Said Diesel 10. "He's ours. These two steam engines stole him." Sir Topham Hatt looked at the engine, and Sir Topham Hatt said, "No, he's our railway engine. He belongs to us. He's not scrap." "Well, we'll fix him," said Sir Topham Hatt. Toby and James smiled, but not Diesel 10 and Bowler. They both reached away. Spencer smiled at Toby. "Thank you, Toby. You're a really good friend to save me." "We'll find you a new home," said Toby. Oh. And then Spencer was at the works getting fixed up. He was happy to be back on Sodor. Then that day, Spencer was at the station. All his friends in the other engine were happy to see Spencer fine. Toby was happy. He was happy to find Spencer. And then Sir Topham Hatt arrived, and he was happy. Sir Topham Hatt came out and walked towards Toby and Spencer and said, "Welcome to our new engine, our railway, named Spencer. Toby is a hero to find Spencer." Toby and James smiled. Gordon was shocked. He was never seen that engine before. He said, "Oh dear, Spencer, I'm glad you were safe," said Gordon. "I haven't seen you for a long time," said Gordon happily. "Yeah," said Spencer, "I haven't seen you in a long time. I miss having races with you." "Yeah," said Gordon, "for now we'll just race," said Gordon. All the other engines whistled at Spencer.